This one now, Olodo work, oh. Everyone laughed.
When you see that these derogatory words are getting too much and they are getting to you, you just keep a stern face. If it is becoming very unbearable, when you dread coming to work, start applying. You getting qualified and having your ICANN certification does not necessarily mean you get a better job. After your 9 to 5, the 5 to 9, well, it's not typically 9 to 5 anyways, but leaving this job now is not guaranteed that the next job that she's going to have a very good boss.
Welcome to Corporate Confessions, a safe space where your stories remain anonymous and the experiences so real. I remain Kelechi Sunday, fondly called PK, and I have an amazing co-host on the show, Mrs. Judy.
Hi guys, welcome to today's episode of Corporate Confessions.
All right, we also have an amazing guest today on the show, Miss Deborah Osajele, a financial expert. Welcome on the show.
Deborah.
Thank you for having me.
Yes.
Thank you for having me, Judy.
We look forward to unwrapping a lot as we head on to the story of the day. Over to you, Miss Judy.
All right, guys, so let's unpack what we have today. Let's unpack today's confession. It calls me Olodo, and everyone laughs. Toxic boss. All right, I can't wait for the end. Okay, my boss, Mr. Bayo, does not shout. He embarrasses you. At first, I thought it was just a style. Little comments in meeting like, "Are you sure you understand this?" Then it got worse. One day I made a mistake on a report. Nothing major. He looked at it, laughed, and said in front of everyone, "This one now Olodo work, oh." Everyone laughed. I laughed too. Because what else could I do? But it didn't stop there. Every small thing became a joke. Don't give it to her. She will spoil it. I can't student when no sabi calculate. This one eats differently. That one eats differently because I'm actually in my final stage of my ICANN exam. I barely speak. I'm juggling work, classes, everything. And I need this job. I've tried to move on and ignore it. I've tried to improve, tried to stay visible, or rather, try to stay invisible. But now, even when I'm right, I second guess myself. Last week, he corrected something I did in front of clients. And I knew it was wrong, but I still kept quiet. Because I need the salary. Just 2 months more, I'll be chartered. And I don't know if I can get something better. But every day it feels like I'm losing my confidence little by little. This is hard, right? So now I'm stuck thinking, do I endure this for 3 more months and secure my future? Or walk away now and protect what is left of my self-worth? So is it that it's career or it's self-worth?
Quite interesting. So let's give the floor to our guest to unravel our opinion on the story.
What do you think about the storyline?
Okay, so I can understand this person, but the last paragraph where she said she has just 3 months. So leaving this job now is not guaranteed.
2 months more,
okay, 2 months more. So leaving this job now is not guaranteed that the next job that she's going to have a very good boss.
Even with the certification.
Do you get? So that one is out of the
picture.
Yes, out of the picture.
Yeah.
So I'd like to go back to where she said she barely speaks. I think it comes from there first. So when someone has consistently tried to put you down at work and then you do not say anything, it means you are accepting what the person is saying.
When it comes to your boss.
I think there's a point where you have to actually speak up. Maybe you try to not be rude, you try to be polite, you try to speak in a way that anyone that hears the story knows that, oh, you are not at fault. So constantly dragging you, constantly putting you down, and you not saying anything means you are accepting it. And if you do not take time, you get to absorb these things and then it becomes part of you. Even when you leave where you are and go to somewhere else, you still have that mentality that you're not good enough. So in my opinion, I would advise that you speak to your boss first. Sometimes these bosses...
So tell my boss, bro, I don't like this.
Well,
sir, I don't like this.
All right, because looking at it from the angle of your response for her to speak to the boss, there are some boss at workplace that are not approachable.
Yes.
You are not sure of the next response you are going to get. So what would you advise she does?
So it's either you speak or you just keep accepting it. Sometimes these people, these bosses, they don't know that they are getting to you. It might just be normal banter and normal speaking with other persons. But if it is getting to you to this point, it's something you have a one-on-one conversation with him. Oh, sir, I think, not even I think, these things that you say, they get to me. I feel like I'm not, is there a way is there how you want me to correct something I am not doing? I feel you can correct me better, not just putting me down outside in that manner.
But to be honest, if my boss calls me Olodo, am I going to laugh? Am I going to report my boss?
Exactly.
I'll update my CV immediately.
Well,
I think one of the problems to her story was the fact that she said she laughed.
Okay, yeah, because
it felt more like a consent.
Exactly.
From the start.
Okay, probably
she empowered him.
Okay.
Yes, and the boss is already comfortable making such jokes because if you laugh, everybody is okay with it. So why are you laughing? I think what you said makes sense. Yes. Let's start from there. Why are you laughing if it's
Or do you think the boss is threatened by the fact that she's intelligent or smart? But then, that you have some bosses that they know you're good, but they don't want you to know that you are good. They keep saying things that will bring you down. So I don't know if it's the situation here.
It could be any of them.
Okay.
The boss might be insecure. I mean, when I was your age, I was not writing ICANN. I was not working where I was working. I mean,
exactly. A lot of things have changed.
I've had an experience where I was writing a professional course, and then my boss told me, not my direct boss, but he told me, he spent 10 years getting qualified. So why am I rushing? Where am I going to? And so sometimes it's their insecurities speaking. So it could be that it's insecure. It could be that it was just, it's a joke. And then,
all right, can we just relate it a little bit personal from the little story you just shared? How were you able to navigate? How were you able to manage that kind of boss?
Okay, so I am a very outspoken person, and over time I saw that people write this diet, maybe 2 papers in a diet, and I was writing 4 because I wanted to be qualified in 2 years. That was my goal.
Wow.
So I was not going to let anybody put me down. If you qualified in 10 years, that's on you whatever it is you were writing then. But I want to do this in 2 years and I'm going to do it. So when he was saying all these things, okay, sir, thank you, sir. But I would like to qualify in 2 years. That's my goal. That's what I'm aiming at. And he didn't mention it again.
All right, if you had, your response was more of an, okay, sir, thank you, sir. It still sounded more like a consent.
Well, I still did what I wanted to do, regardless.
Okay, because I'm sure you were still trying to protect the space, trying to protect the fact that the person who had told you this thing was your boss. So you didn't directly go to him to tell him, I don't like the fact that you're trying to discourage my goal. Yeah. It was more like a consent. So in this situation, the person in question happens to be her boss. So would you advise that she remains at that workplace or tender resignation letter?
I think we have a question that we should even ask our listeners in the comment section. Whatever you think, please just drop it in the comment section. Toxic boss or unemployment? So I think that's the situation here. Which would you rather manage? Because I know that the sender, whoever sent this story, she's actually watching and waiting for that response. So toxic boss or unemployment, which would you rather? Toxic boss or unemployment? So let me throw it back to you.
Back to my opinion. So I don't think unemployment is the right way to go.
Okay.
Especially if this person is in this part of the world.
Even against my mental health?
Well,
this mental health thing.
Sometimes your mental health has to just wait. Because we are talking about funding yourself. We are talking about bills that are going to be paid. So you're not going to let what someone else is saying. And then where I even have an issue is you getting qualified and having your ICANN certification does not necessarily mean you get a better job. Yes. Because there are people with so many qualifications out there.
Manage the toxic boss.
Manage it. Speak to the boss. If you can't speak to the boss, I mean, some organizations.
There are bosses that will frustrate you.
In my opinion, from this conversation, it started from the laughter part where she laughed and it seemed like she accepted. Yes, exactly. So if you cannot speak to the boss or speaking to the boss does not work, some organizations have very good HR policy. You can walk to HR and be like, there are some things that someone is doing, not necessarily my boss, and ask for their advice on how to take it forward. And if it escalates from there, please.
All right. Would you also say that it's safe to set boundaries? Is it possible to set boundaries with your boss as regards this conversation? How can you possibly set that boundaries and you are not disrespecting him and you are not stepping on
that's
toes?
another point. Yeah. Sometimes it can even be the way you carry yourself. There are some people at work, for everything that happens, they will speak. And there are some people that they are very good with their level of composure. So before someone will even walk up to you to talk to you or to try anything, they will look face.
Yes.
Exactly.
Yes.
But then if you're someone that is just everywhere, nobody will give you that respect. So I think your self-respect comes into play here too.
Okay, so I just thought of something before setting boundaries. I feel like this person should ask other persons that she works with and let them talk about her capacity. It could be that she's actually not capable, he or she is not capable. So if you speak to your colleagues, or what do you like, make it very serious.
Said that even when the boss did something in front of the client, and she knew the boss was wrong, but she just kept quiet. You have some persons that they will correct their boss in front.
Exactly. Yes.
Lecturers in class.
Exactly. So I would still think that this person should speak to colleagues. It would help to see yourself from other person's perspective.
That's trusted colleagues.
Exactly, trusted colleagues, and talk about work. Do you think I'm doing my work well? And then when you have like 3 or 4 responses, if you still feel like you are a good person, you are capable, you have the capacity, set boundaries. How do you set boundaries? It starts from all these jokes. Why should your teeth be outside when people are joking about your capacity and your work? Especially when you know that it will get to you.
But don't you also think at work rather, if you look too serious, they say you have pride. If you look too serious, they say you're not relatable. If you frown at everything,
they say you're not a team player.
You're not a team player. You always want to be, you are too forward. You have eye service. So how do you balance all of this while you still try to communicate the fact that you're not comfortable with your boss using derogatory words at you?
When you see that these derogatory words are getting too much and they are getting to you, first thing is, do not reduce the smiling. When people are making jest of you and your work, I mean, this is your capacity we are talking about, and it's already affecting your self-worth. So from there, when people start making comments about, oh, is it not this Deborah? We know how she is now. You don't laugh. You just keep a stern face, and then maybe later on, guy, that thing you said, I didn't really like it too. But when it comes to your boss, like we say, and we're trying to respect and still maintain the relationship, and of course, you know that promotion is still around the corner. I would say that it still boils down to having a one-on-one conversation. Oh, sir, please, if you don't mind, though, I'd like to see you. I'd like to say something. And then, of course, I don't think any boss would just dismiss you like that when he does not even know what you want to say. And then when you go oh, sir, it's about this, where do you think that I am not doing right? Because I feel like when you have this talk, it gets to me somehow, but I'm trying to make amends. I'm trying to see how you want me to do things going forward. Coming from that perspective, coming with that kind of mindset, the boss will be oh, I'm just, it's either of two things. Oh, I'm just joking. It was just a joke. Oh, I thought you were okay with it. Okay, that one you can ask, sir, I'm not okay with it. Or it gets to me when I think about it, I feel like I'm not doing well. Then that's that. But if the person still dismisses you, sometimes you have to build a thick skin. You do what I am here for something. I'm not here to play or to just make friends. I'm here for the money.
So if I'm going to build a thick skin around all of this, so at what point do you think, I know they do this thing again. I'm resigning. At what point or is there a point you think I should just resign and leave that environment? Or should I just keep enjoying because there's no job, meaning there's no job out there?
But I feel like the writer came from the angle of once she becomes chartered, she would start trying to apply for jobs. So while she's still there, she would endure, and that's what Debbie is saying, that she should try to have a one-on-one conversation with the boss. Then 2 months time, what are we talking about?
But even the writer is not very assured that there's something better that would come for her.
Exactly.
So it was more like
in this economy
speculation.
That's another.
But what I'm saying is, at what point, if your boss just walks up to you, or maybe something happens at work and he gives you a dirty slap?
Well, going that far, of course, I feel like HR will be involved. When you start slapping, when you start
actually for us or for the management.
They are not
yes,
that's another
topic.
story. Yes,
we're not going to talk about today.
So for me, I'll still say if it is becoming very unbearable, you know, when you dread coming to work, first things first, start applying. Don't wait till you are chartered. I mean, you have this one now, you are not chartered, and they are paying you. What makes you think that if you are not chartered and you go somewhere else, fine, you would have higher chances of getting more money? But you are here now, they are paying you, you are still not chartered. Start applying. When you, after your 9 to 5, the 5 to 9, well, it's not typically 9 to 5 anyways, but the many times you have in the evenings, start applying everywhere. Speak to trusted friends, your church members, everybody. Oh, I'm looking to change jobs. That way, you know that, okay, you're anticipating something and not just necessarily waiting for ICANN. What if you don't pass your final exams?
Yeah, that's another.
The 3 months becomes 6 months, it becomes 1 year.
Becomes 3 years.
Do you get?
Yes.
All right, viewers, it's been an amazing time with our amazing guest, Miss Deborah Osajele. I'd like to ask you one other question. If you have your way, if you have the power to turn back the hands of time in your career space, some of the mistakes you probably would have made or some of the things you wouldn't have endured, what would that be?
Okay, so for me, I think I would not be afraid. So there was always the, I have this one now, let me manage. Meanwhile, there are other of my peers, people applying for jobs, even the ones that are out of their reach. So I would remove fear from anything I'm doing, the fear of the unknown.
Wow. So if you have your way, one of the things you would change in your journey in career is to be more adventurous.
Exactly.
Try new opportunities and don't just settle for what's available.
Exactly.
Thinking this is the best that life can give to me.
Trust me, there's
in
always
the career
more.
space. All right. Every time on this show, I look forward to having swell time with our co-host, Miss Judy, and of course, our phenomenal guest, Deborah Osajele. Thank you so much for being on the show. And all right, viewers, I like that you comment on this podcast. We'd like to get your feedback, your response, your reactions to this conversation. Forget to follow us on all our social media handles on YouTube, Corporate Nigeria, Facebook, and Instagram. The social media handle will be projected right on the screen. And we look forward to getting your feedback. Watch out for the next episode. Thank you. Bye.